This week we're heading north again as we head up past Inverness to go and explore some of the beautiful coastline of the Moray Firth. We're taking on Scotland's newest parkrun, discovering fascinating places you might not know, and of course visiting the charity shops. But first of all, we're making a wee stop on the way in the town of Pitlochry.
This is the first adventure for Effie, or Euphemia to give her posh name, and they like our little collection at the front. That's Eldritch and our puffin that were in Daisy, and we bought some Jellycat toys in a charity shop last week, but we've kept that one because he's because he's cute. And while Bex is getting ready to do one of our admin calls, I am going to walk up into town and have a quick look around the charity shops because why not?
Pitlochry is one of two sort of gateway towns in Scotland, the other one being Callander. And you know, when you get to Pitlochry, you're almost in the Highlands. It's a really, really pretty main street. And in the summertime, it is really, really busy. It's not particularly warm at the moment, so it's not particularly busy, which means I can go for a mooch round the charity shops and they are not rammed with people. Charity shopping is quite a popular holiday pastime, apparently. Who'd have thunk? Did you know that as well as very expensive cars, Ferrari also makes some very expensive bags, or rather brand some very expensive bags? I saw this one and thought that I might have struck gold, but on closer inspection, that doesn't look much like the actual Ferrari logo, and quality-wise, yeah, I don't think this is a genuine Ferrari bag. As you can imagine, Pitlochry is a bit of a tourist trap, usually with lots and lots of bus trips. There's lots and lots of shops that will quite happily part you from your money in return for Chinese plastic tat or for the details of the Scottish roots of your name, even if it's not even remotely Scottish. You'll still have a tartan and they can still sell you a tie. That is definitely a really pretty place to come and lots of nice wee things to see. My favourite thing actually was a toy shop which had lots and lots of Jellycat toys. I had no idea these were so collectible or so valuable or frankly so expensive. The only thing I bought in the charity shops was this old Giles book. I used to love these books as a kid. They're all like cartoons from newspapers, but they date back to the 1960s and 1970s. Some of the references are a little bit dated. But that's quite enough of that. Time to head back to the van and continue our journey north. But on the way back to the van, I saw this wee guy. Now, at first, I must admit, rather unkindly, I thought it was a rat. Bit closer, it's not a rat, it's a little red squirrel. These are quite rare, and this chap is just sitting there.
It's hiding somewhere under that van. Well, little dude is okay. Red squirrels are quite rare in Scotland. They're on the way back, but grey squirrels sort of pushed them out of their traditional homes. So yeah, it's nice to see a red squirrel. I've not seen one of them for ages. To see it sitting just at the side of the road is quite cool. Well, there he is there. He's looking fine. He's probably just having a wee rest. Hello, fluffy little dude. Oh, come back. Come back and be photographed. Proof that we are in the very heart of Scotland. We're 100 and odd miles north of Glasgow and 100 miles south of Inverness. And this is a national cycle network that we have tried to follow bits of. This is Pitlochry railway station, obviously, because we're in Pitlochry and it's a railway station. Let's go and meet this dude over here who is, looks like a porter of some sort with trousers full of stones. Bex is still on her call, so me and himself are going for a wee sniff about. It's nice round Pitlochry. There's lots of paths that we've just seen signs for, so we're going to go for a wee wander and see what we can see. Oh look, it's a mysterious wee shack. Not that mysterious, I don't think. Quite a nice looking wee location in the woods though. Needs a bit of fixing up though. That's a definite fixer upper, I think. We interrupt this walk for some sniffing. There has been a lot of sniffing. But that's enough of that. It's time to jump back in Effie and head north. We had an overnight in Inverness that we're not going to show you anything because nothing exciting happened, and then the next morning we headed across to the beautiful little seaside town of Nairn. And it was bright, and it was early, and it was very, very cold. And why are we here? Well, why do you think? This is the location of Scotland's newest parkrun, so let's go and give it a shot. The event takes place down on Nairn Links, or Nairn Esplanade, which in the Second World War was a training ground. And we did ask De Niro if he wanted to come and run with us, but as you can see, he wasn't overly keen. But then again, he never is. I'm slightly amazed how many people are here. This is a new park run, so there's lots of people doing it obviously for the first time, duh. But there's lots and lots of people shown up out of nowhere. The car park was empty and then it was a bit full, and now yeah.
And what can we tell you about the actual parkrun? Well, it was flat, it was beside the sea, it was a bit chilly, it was through that. You get the idea. You run 5 kilometres and at the end of it you go for a cup of coffee and a bacon roll. Quite frankly, we only do it for the cups of coffee and the bacon roll. And with the park run done, it was time to wander up into town and see what delights Nairn had to offer us. They do like their churches up here, there's that one, but if you don't like that one, then there's that one over there, and if you don't like that one over there, then there is that one there. Yeah, this is a bit of a holy corner.
Somebody has been getting a bit carried away with the yarn bombs. We've seen a few of these on the way in that we're going to try and find on the way out, but look at that. I mean, that is a yarn bomb on steroids. That is that is so cool.
Now, as you know, I am usually the one that gets sidetracked by signs, but today it was Bexy's turn because she saw a sign for the wool shop, so yeah, obviously we had to go for a wee look. If you're into knitting and sewing and all that gubbins, then this place is an absolute treasure trove. It's got virtually everything you can imagine all rammed into this fairly small shop. Bex was in her wee element. Me, I was just walking around wondering who was looking at me, because everywhere you looked there was things looking at you.
What are you seeing?
You've seen our llama back in the van. We have just spotted watching us.
The lady who runs the shop was telling us a lot of these things are left by customers. Every time she turns round, there's a new little friend waiting for her. It's such a cute idea. And Bex spent more money in there than she's going to admit to. But for now, let's go and have a look in the charity shops of Nairn.
For the van?
Well, we've got that other game, haven't we?
This is really nice, isn't it?
Oh wow, look at that.
Cards and poker dice and pegs.
I don't know how to play any of those
Missing
games.
a white token apparently, but
You could
I think we'll have that as well. Here's the new van's game shelf is well stocked already. Not got a gin shelf, it's got a game shelf.
Although the charity shops were quite well stocked, we were actually finding it quite hard to spend money. Apart from those two games that we just showed you, there was nothing in any of them that we really wanted to buy. But hey ho, let's go for a wee explore and try and find that aforementioned bacon roll.
Let's take a wee walk down by the river. Nairn is quite a pretty wee town, although the charity shops are, to be fair, a bit disappointing. But not to worry, we're going to head off towards Elgin and then south. We're going to go the tourist route home. Yay! Oh dear, there's some nice swans down there, but they're they look good from back there. You get along here and you can just see its head. The rest of it is out of sight, obviously.
Is there anything better than being beside the harbour in a wee seaside town? This was such a pretty little place with the blue sky and the sunshine obviously helping. But to answer that question, yes, you could be sitting in a harbourside cafe in a pretty harbour in a seaside town. And this is the one that we found. It was called the Basil, as you can read for yourself. Most importantly, it had a full and varied menu that included bacon rolls. And the bacon roll, to be frank, was one of the best ones that I've ever had. Bex had a scone because she's healthy, but yeah, it was an amazing bacon roll. And with breakfast consumed, somewhat later than planned because we spent quite a lot of time wandering around the charity shops, it was time to head back to the van and continue our wee jaunt along the Moray Firth coast.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Excuse me? That is a dog bed. That is a person bed.
Oh yes, I remembered.
It is beautiful, and now that all those fleeing parkrunners have gone, it's much more peaceful. It's time for some intensive sniffing. There's a really cool De Niro. I'll have to edit this bit out. There's a really cool beach here just over there, but it's a zoomy beach par excellence, but it's also got lots of people on it, so new.
So no zoomies, but a nice walk. And then it was time for us to head off, and our next stop was somewhere that I'd never even heard of, and it was, well, wait till you see this.
Right, we have done a bit of an emergency stop because we're driving along to look at a castle. Really noisy, and on the way to the castle I saw a sign for this. This is Kinloss Abbey apparently, so let's go for a wee look. Bex is not joining in because that wool and crochet and knitting stuff that she bought in Nairn, she's now sitting there and doing antisocial. Let's go for a wee look. It looks very impressive. It goes back to the 16th century apparently, and not far from here, just over there somewhere, is the site of the former Royal Air Force station at Kinloss, which was only closed quite recently as short-sighted defence cuts, as it's turning out. But anyway, because there's an RAF base nearby, there's a Commonwealth War Graves plot here with the Royal Air Force servicemen. We're going to go and find that as well. I say find that, but I saw the cross from the gate, so I know exactly where it is. And De Niro the Gravehound is just happy to be out for another walk. He's getting quite a lot of walks the past couple of days. It's good. The weather is definitely, well, I'll say the weather is improving, but we woke up this morning in Inverness and I had to scrape ice off the window of the car. We stayed overnight in a car park in the middle of Inverness last night, which was very salubrious. But our new wee camper van is quite stealthy, so I don't think anybody would have noticed. Doesn't look as much like a camper as Daisy did. And yeah, I think we might have found the Commonwealth Wargraves plot. We usually go and say hello to these gentlemen as we pass. Well, mostly gentlemen. The odd lady I know, but mostly gentlemen. But yeah, wow, I had no idea, because that's all Commonwealth Wargraves there. Hello, Sergeant Scott of the Royal Canadian Air Force, for our Canadian friends. And over here, there's more going all the way around there too. There's quite a lot of let's have a look. Corporal Burkwood, Royal Air Force, 1964. Oh wow. Sergeant Beck, Royal Air Force, 1951. 1964, 1950. Alright, something bad happened on the 14th of March 1951, because there's Sergeant Beck, Flight Sergeant Naismith, and there's Sergeant Bell. Oh, and Flight Lieutenant Dennison, and wow, I have no idea what that was. I might find out or I might forget. So all these war graves are from the 1950s. Well, I started in 1951, we're up to 1958 and then 1959, so yeah, up into the 1960s. I didn't know these were here. And over there is the remains of the old abbey. As always, watching over them, it's the cross of sacrifice. Those are, you know what I think of those if you've watched any of our videos. I always comment on it and I always say the same things. So I'm not going to say it this week. Nah. And that over there, all fenced off, is the abbot's house where the abbot used to live. They've just done a lot of renovation work on that. They're hoping to make it safe enough that it can be opened up, the fence can be taken down, and you can visit it. But at the moment, as you can see, you can't. You just missed the excitement. A rabbit just ran across over there, and De Niro looked at it, and then yeah. This is why he must have been a rubbish racing greyhound, because he looked at the rabbit and said, oh, wonder what that is, and then ignored it completely and went back to sniffing. Well, it's through here. There's a lady who's lost her head, and alright, this is somebody's private little burial bit in loving memory of Evelyn Dunbar Maysmith, Deaconess Ian, Rear Admiral David Arthur Dunbar yeah, this is the great and the good, who died at Glen of Rothes as opposed to Glen Rothes. Right, De Niro, what way are we going now? We're going, go on then, lead on. Say that to him, and I know it's just coincidence, but he's like, yep, I want to go this way. Let's go and see what's through this this little door. That's yeah. Guess what? It's another bit of the graveyard. That's exactly what I expected to find. I'm getting good at this business. It is a beautiful day, and unlike the last couple of days when we've been out and about, it is not at all windy. So you know what that means. It's time for a wee play with a drone, because I bet this place is just made for, well, not made for droning, obviously. It was only built about 500 years before drones were invented, but you knew what I meant. So before we head off in search of further interesting things to show you guys, let's go and have a look inside the abbey itself, if we can get into what's left of it. And the answer to that is, unfortunately, we can't. It's all closed off. But there's a wee vaulted room, a storeroom or something. No idea. Making it up as I go along, as per usual. There's quite a nice ceiling though. It's I do like this architecture, as you probably noticed, but we're not going to bore you with too much more architecture. We're also not going to bore you with too much more going out and talking to these guys, because I want to see what we can see inside the sort of main bit of the abbey. But I think it's all closed off, which a lot of these things are, obviously. Oh wow, there's that looks like a much more modern altar stone there. That's quite nice. Another long vaulted room. I know there's a room above this with a really cool looking roof, so I'll go and see if I can find that. There's the other side of the bit we were just looking at, but look at that up there. That must have been quite impressive. I would guess once upon a time it was all plastered and painted and stuff. Would have been an amazing building. The sort of the centre of commerce and the centre of trade in the local area. These places were always a hive of industry, literally, with rich people getting richer. Oh, wow, oh look, there's a couple of nice big sarcophagi. I wonder if I can persuade Bex to... No, she won't. There's no way she's going to lie in somebody's old sarcophagus. But they're really cool. We've seen them in other places, and it's usually like monks from the abbey that were buried in them. Yeah, very nice. Let's keep going up this way and back to Effie at the new van. Looking at some of the stuff that's dotted about, obviously lots of tombstones, but there are, as far as I can see, 2 of these, which are, I'm thinking, are probably pillars that once held up the roof of something that was here, part of the abbey. Because if you look down that way, that could have been like an outside wall. and that could have been an outside wall, so where I'm standing could have been inside the main sort of body of the kirk, as it were, and down there is the bit that's surviving. This is a really, really cool place. I think it's a really, really cool place, and I'm the one with the camera. Oh look, there's somebody called Cosmo. They called their child Cosmo. That must have been quite rebellious back in the day. If you're British and of a certain age, you can't see the word Cosmo without thinking of Les Dawson, who was a very famous and very funny comedian, and he had a character called Cosmo Smallpiece. It's just even the name's funny.
What an impressive ruin. I think we'll put a longer explorer of that cemetery up on our Places for the Past site, but in the meantime, let's get along the road to Elgin.
This is the heart of Elgin. It's a really pretty place. We'll be back here to do a full sort of proper explore when we come back to do the loopy park run. Not quite sure what's going on with this. It's a guy playing a drum with a dog and a child with a stick. Make what you want of that. That is out on a limb because it's got a unicorn on top of it. That is, or is that a unicorn? Is that a lion actually? I could be talking nonsense. That is, I was going to say it's a Merkit cross, usually in Scotland with a unicorn. Let's see if that is. No, I think that's a lion. Nice, busy. Oh, there's a picture for you though. There is a lion on its stick. And the bit on top of the toll house, the toll booth, whatever it is. I'll find out and I'll let you know. I'm gibbering. Oh, there you are. That is called the Muckle Cross of Elgin, or Ye Muckle X of Elgin. Built about 1650, destroyed 1792, and rebuilt in 1888. What a nice thing. There's a close-up view of a lion's bottom. That's pretty cool as well. What an amazing building. Right, now I've got to go and find Bex, who I'm guessing has found the next charity shop. No treasure outside, but £5 for a wee bag of Lego. Not cheap. Into the toy pile, looking for the jelly cats. None of these will be jelly cats.
You're talking to yourself.
Bex is wondering if I'm talking to myself or her. Kind of both usually, but mostly you guys. That place was quite expensive, and Bex, for the avoidance of doubt, I'm talking to you, but I'm also talking to, you know, this lot that follow us about.
But again, not a great deal bought. All I managed to pick up was these two French comic books, graphic novel things that should be quite interesting.
This is the other side of that building that we were just looking at, so maybe I can find out what it is. I'm guessing Church. Yeah, Church of Scotland it says, over there. Nice building, and there's a sign that's going to tell us all that we need to know about it. And all we need to know about it is blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, read that if you want. A town which in filthiness exceeded all the towns of the northeast. The north side of the high street had 54 dung heaps and 12 pigsties. Ew, that looks like it's been on top of something else, that thing, and it's now here. And there is a mermaid lion thing. No idea. Charity shops have been quite expensive so far. Let's have a look in the British Heart Foundation. Oh, I've got one of those already. The one I've got's got a crack in its eye. There's lots of oldie-worldy art, and this won't be working because of the wind noise, but yeah, I wonder who that gentleman there is with his sword held aloft in what looks like a much more modern arch than the statue. And that is Elgin. In front of us is a big building. I hope you've enjoyed this. We will be back up here, as I said before, for the park run, so we'll do a proper episode then. And it's time for a literally a pee break. We are taking the cross-country route from, thank you, I was talking there, the cross-country route from Forres down to Aviemore, so we can get back onto the A9, and it is, as you can see, very sort of desolate and pretty. Everybody wave at Bex. Hi Bex! So you've had your dinner, and that's it. You've had all your needs met. Let's continue heading south back to Sunday Methil.